Yes, court in session with me, Al. And we have it for the host tonight. There's Alan Pinder, the Division Scout, and Keelan Phillips. Well, Keelan, the team that you used to coach won school league. Won school league. Uh, I hear congratulations to both to go to Simeon.
Matt
Um,
and I'm a
yeah,
calling here.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, so I'm really, yeah, we got to congratulate Simeon on winning school league.
Mhm.
With Hartson College. That's a really, really nice thing he's doing, giving back, trying his hand at coaching.
Mhm.
Right. So let's hop to it.
Mhm.
The first thing, the CP3 saga. I got my own thoughts about it, but I will let me start with you, Kilan. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a case of um your skill is no longer tolerable to the attitude, right? Simply, it's simply all it is. I've heard some other thoughts on it. That would have maybe added to my own thoughts. A lot of thoughts I kind of agree on. I see kind of both sides to it, but it's a situation where, as we all know, Chris Paul for years has been kind of sometimes difficult to be with, right? He holds people um uh, accountable, and he's that guy that knows all the rules, so he can be real annoying on the court. So I can get why people may not like him basketball wise, but but on the flip side, it's not like your team is good. So I get him kind of being the adult in the room because if you look at the leadership of the Clippers, right? The Kawhi, for as great a player as he is, one of my favorite players, is not really a leader. In terms of he's not vocal, and it's hard to have that or I trying to think like lead by example by playing when he doesn't really play as much because of the injuries, right? So that's difficult to also lead in that regard. James Harden has his ways of doing things that people question his leadership as well. So in terms of anybody being a leader in that locker room, it's actually Chris Paul, right? Chris Paul has gone to almost every team that he's gone to has gotten better, right? Whether it's the Rockets, whether it's the Suns, they went to the first final in how long? Like 27 years. OKC that 1 year when they were supposed to not be the playoffs. All that Hornets teams. He as a floor raiser is a very good thing, but CP3 is can be irritable. So it's just that then they want to hear nothing that CP3 gonna say anymore because you're not as good as you once was, so you can't tell me nothing. Is that a good approach to have? No, considering you're 5 and 16. Like the team is
Yeah, not
horrible.
ideal.
Like
Not ideal.
yeah, it's not ideal. And I guess it got to a point where everybody's just annoyed and upset. They're 5 and 16. So him saying that, people don't want to hear it, blah blah blah. There was a video that came out though that was talking about showing Chris Paul. I think he was telling Kawhi it was two games. Kawhi against the Cavs. So what was happening is that they were down, right? And they were trying to push and make a run. And Darius Garland was when he got the inbound, he was letting the ball roll, right? So that was wasting time because it was just after the score. So it wasting time because the ball rolled up the court and the 8 seconds and started because he hadn't touched the ball, right? And this happened 2 or 3 back-to-back plays, and CP3 is trying to show at Kawhi and tell him, yo, like press up so that he pick up the ball so that he doesn't waste time. 2 times Kawhi didn't do it. Then Chris Paul ran from backcourt to do it, right? And you could see, yeah, that caused a little thing. The second time was Kawhi was having some problems marking Klay Thompson, and Chris Paul suggests that Kawhi play like switch off of Klay Thompson, and this is where a report came out that Jeff Van Gundy said that basically what I said earlier is that you can't really make decisions or suggestions because you're not really as good as you once were anymore. I don't agree with that, but it's a lot of basically people just sick of Chris Paul. And the team sucks, so everybody just irritable and vexed. And yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, you agree, Alan, or you disagree?
Yeah, I agree for the most part. I think the biggest issue is um he didn't really have the alignment with the coaches. Like Leon mentioned, the issue with Jeff Gunn, Van Gundy, and him and Van Gundy not saying you don't really have the leeway to make these changes anymore
Yeah.
with defense. The reports like Tyronn Lue had cut off communication with him at some point in time as
Oh
well.
yeah. Yeah.
So even though Chris Paul normally has that role, he's holding guys accountable, I think it's usually with the blessing of the coaching staff. And for some reason, he and the coaching staff, even though they agreed early on in the season that he'll have a lesser role, he will not be playing as much minutes, or probably not even in all games sometimes, and that was understandable. Somehow they came out of alignment, and Chris Paul's input was counter, and it definitely was not appreciated by the coaching staff. So I think that's the biggest issue, that he came out of line with the coaching staff, and that's where they had to let him go. I mean, they let him go very abruptly, but
yeah,
I think if we think about it, given the caliber of player Chris Paul is, and given the organization that he's with, they figured that he's going to retire there, how well he's looked at within that organization. For them to decide that I need to release you right now at the beginning of a road trip,
yeah,
something that we have not heard about serious happened on that plane just before that plane ride, that the team said, you know what, we need to get rid of you now, not tomorrow, not next week. We need to get rid of you right now. So I think something really bad happened with him and the coaching staff that led to that abrupt decision. So, I mean, even looking forward, generally, you'll say I think he should be able to play on another team throughout the season so he can end his career properly. But again, he normally has a line with the coaching staff, and this Clippers situation should have been perfect because he's with fellow veterans, a veteran coaching staff. He should be able to fight with these guys with this particular franchise. And his inability to do that within this franchise, I think other teams are going to be very wary of. Well, if you can make it work with the Clippers with Ty Lue and Jeff Van Gundy and all these other respected guys, or we're taking a risk by bringing him in here because we know Chris Paul is this type of personality. And is Chris Paul going to change? Is he going to let him know and be a little easier once we got him on our team?
I don't know.
So I think unless Chris is able to make that adjustment, I think it might be tough for him to get back onto another team. He's probably going to have to make that adjustment because I think other coaching staffs are going to be very wary to bring him on given this perfect situation didn't work out. So it should be interesting to watch going forward to see what happens.
Yeah, because also too, like that what you mentioned in terms of their talking about him having a lesser role. Like I really thought that Chris Paul going to the Clippers was more so of a he for more veteran presence and leadership and all that. I thought that was what they signed him all for. So the fact that is the reason why he get cut is not even his play. I mean, he wasn't playing great anyways, but the leadership part is the reason why they said, nah, we can't deal with this anymore. Is very telling, as you said, that they had to immediately. And like he is arguably the best player that in their franchise. Like he and Blake Griffin, like he brought. Like we all know how the Clippers were before. They were a laughing stock. Like they were the little brothers of LA. I mean, like yes, you can still call them the little brothers, but for years since Chris Paul got there, they were seen as contenders. Yeah, before everybody laugh at the Clippers. The Clippers were like horrible. So it's just crazy how they would basically treat a franchise lesson, but it's what it is. What do you think?
Yeah, well, my thing though is slightly different. I'm thinking if you bring Chris Paul, everybody in the league know how Chris Paul operates. This is not next. We in the league and we know.
Yeah.
Right? So everybody in the league knows how Chris Paul is. And if you bring Chris Paul back, you should be thinking, okay, I bring you back to be part of, yeah, like a player coach, that sort of thing. And we can get huddle, you can be in huddles and make suggestions and things. That doesn't mean you go follow them, but you will understand that that's the sort of role that you will be bringing Chris Paul for. However, I think what happened is Chris Paul pulled a move on them. Like he announced that this is his last year.
Oh, yeah.
If you announce this is your last year, you can't really got Chris Paul sitting down on the bench and pointing it.
Because racking up the MPs at one point.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got like, you really basically got play, you got to be in your rotation. And I think that's what really pissed off the coaches more than anything else. Right?
That's possible.
Forced them to have to play him. Right? By announcing because if he'd announced before he got there that this is last year, then everybody want to stand they probably want to pick him up in this.
Possibly.
But I think he forced them to play him, and because he forced them to play him, I think that's where he and the coaching staff really get there. The other thing is, so I agree with y'all, but when you're scoring 20, 30, 25 points a game, your voice is better than when you get racking up the MPs, right? And one of the things about players that are of a certain ilk, they don't ever know when to retire, right? I mean, you don't have to wait for somebody, put you at the end of the bench and treat you like a scrub to know that you're gonna retire, right? And basically that's what they did. I just felt like they should have done it a little better. I think as a man that is going to be in the Hall of Fame, a man that gave a lot to the NBA, and a man that obviously, but every team he goes to, he always makes it better. I think that was shabby behavior. The thing go, man, we tired of hearing to me that's childish, right? I mean, they use big men. I mean, like, shoot, man.
Really not.
Like me correcting a 4-year-old. Oh, you keep doing this all the time. Look, oh, my grandson. You understand me? Like that to me, that was Clipper-like things. I mean, no Clippers. Clippers just do Clipper things.
It's true.
Oh yeah, so it is what it is. I am sorry that his career is going to end because really and truly, what y'all said, it's difficult for him now to get on a team.
Yeah.
Unless somebody feel for him, like Houston feel for him and say, okay, come across here, we can play you like 10 minutes a game, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
or something like that. But apart from that, I don't think he will get on to other team unless something catastrophic happens, somebody big like one of the big guns went down and you decide, okay, let me roll the dice with him for a little bit. But apart from that, I think that's over and he will be just, unfortunately, treated just like Carmelo, where people are going to just, once a great fella, now people just tolerating you, and they get to a point where your skill is not equal to your
Talent.
the
Sorry,
knowledge
it's
that you keep.
noisy. Yeah.
Right. So that's basically it. So that's the CP3 saga. Let me hope that it ends fairly well for him. But we'll monitor that. I think yesterday, a couple days ago, we found out Wagner went down with an injury.
Okay.
I don't know if Orlando Magic, if they got any water, if there's not grease on the floor. I don't know what it is, but I mean every time they look like if they can make a move, somebody's got hurt. It don't be like I hurt my finger or I hurt my big toe. It'd be like this injury and that injury and a big name injury. Anyway, they said he'd be out 2 to 4 weeks. I am not sure. I saw him go down and I'm really sure that's a 2 to 4 week thing. But we'll see how that one goes. But I want to know what impact does that have on the Orlando Magic now going forward? Let's start with you, Alan. What do you think?
Alan,
well, lucky he's going to be out a few weeks. So hopefully with that time they could stay afloat. it might be a blessing in disguise for Banchero. He just came back from injury, and the team's been rolling pretty well without him. And they've had issues getting those two playing well and the entire team playing well. I think he has the opportunity now to show he can play a more winning brand of basketball, um, more within the team concept, taking smarter shots, and help to keep the momentum and to have going because they've been playing pretty well recently. And they were struggling a lot early on just before he got hurt. So I think this is probably a big stretch for him to show that he can play and help the team continue to play a winning brand of basketball while Wagner's out. And then they can look to see if they can potentially get those two rolling together. But if you're playing really bad with Banchero, then really well when he's out, Wagner's out now, and you bring him in, team struggling again. I think they may start to look really hard at him. So I think there's a big stretch for him going forward here now to see if he can really, play a winning brand of basketball with this team and help the team really continue momentum that have going.
What do you think, Keelan?
Yeah, in terms of the injuries at first, yeah, because like apparently he got an injury the exact same day last year. Last season is the exact same day. And like it's so hard for them to build up because this actually even before Wagner and Banchero came there was a player who was still on their team who had a lot of potential in Jonathan Isaac. He looked like Andrei Kirilenko, a modern day Andrei Kirilenko, someone who could score, he rebounds, block shots, pass, steal, great on defense, could switch 1-2-5, and he just kept getting hurt. It's actually, I won't say a miracle, but it might be that he's actually still even a okay player in the league right now, considering the injuries that were just stacking up and up and up all the time. But yeah, I don't know if it's something with like up in Orlando. I don't know if it's Disneyland water that taking over. I don't know, but yeah, it's something. But in regards to the Wagner injury itself, I agree with Alan that this is a very important stretch for Banchero. I can look at it on the potential flip side because he looked at it as more of a positive light, as in the sense that he could play some winning brand of basketball with Wagner. Oh, I am a little bit more fearful that because Wagner is out, he goes more hero ball to maybe think that he has to keep the team alive. That's something that would not be good for the Magic at all. Alan is right. He has to find a way to continue to play winning basketball. It's not just about scoring points. He could impact. He's a big body. He can impact with rebounding. He could put more effort on defense, playmaking, as Alan said, taking smarter shots. Desmond Bain has been playing a lot better as long as you don't keep throwing the ball off of people angrily. But yeah, like right now has been playing better. Sorry, Bain has been playing better. Suggs has been relatively healthy compared to last year. This is a stretch because I was right. It seems like they play better when he's not on the court. And as your franchise guy, that's not something that you want. You want that your franchise guy that they play winning basketball when he's there. So hopefully he could keep the momentum going. Then when Wagner comes back, hopefully they could both coexist and keep the momentum going. The East is still pretty tight. Like they're 14-10, but they're not going anywhere. They're like one game over the third, 2.5 games behind the Knicks in second. So a 3-game or 4-game winning streak, and if Knicks lose 2 in a row or Boston lose a game, all of a sudden they could be in that second seed. So so like they could easily be in play for that 2 through maybe even 6 spot. Realistically I see them maybe 3 to 5. Then that's maybe where they will land. But I mean that would still be good if you fall in the 3-4 spot. That's home court advantage in the first round. And they were the 7th seed last year. So I mean that'd be a big step up for them. So yeah, it's a big stretch. Hopefully he can continue how much I have been playing.
Okay, so we all agree that Wagner injury is significant.
Yeah.
Not only significant because he got injured, but significant for the Magic and
Mhm.
Banchero.
Yeah.
Because it seems that, yeah, it's not a good look when your franchise going out and you're playing better.
All the time. Yeah.
Well, not better, but at least playing, at least keeping afloat and being in the actual hunt, right?
Yeah.
When your franchise guy come back, it should be that you should be not be moving up.
Yeah, it should be good, but it's just like when he's back, it's look like the regressing. The
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I,
That's the issue.
Yeah.
I wanna wish him, I wanna wish the Magic all the best because I mean they need a break, man. Every time they get back somebody else is go out. And the thing
Right.
is, like, I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's the Wagner injury.
Mhm.
Then we had some reports, and let's say he doesn't really take the reporter that made the statement, but there was some reports out that Miami had internal discussions about how Ja Morant would fit with their franchise. They felt that the structure that they got would help him a lot. Um, but that this is well suspect reported. I am not sure how Ja Morant will work out in Miami because Miami has always got like really good guards. I mean, like they've always got like be able to get some average players to play really good in their system. But I'm not sure how they will get Ja to fit into that unless they you know they trade somebody like Hero and about 3 or 4 picks and some first round picks to get him. So anyway, that is just my little thing about that. So what do you think, Keelan? You think if the reporting
Mhm.
is correct, how you think Miami and Ja Morant will work out?
I think maybe from a structural standpoint, it may actually be good for Ja. A change of scenery might be good for Ja. Period. At this point, and Miami is a very disciplined team. It could hit or miss because there are some stars who can't take um the the structure that Miami has, right? It's very disciplined, it's very about hard work. They'd be very thing on their fitness in terms of body fat and they always gotta be fit and have a certain weight and all that. So it can be good from that standpoint. However, from a team and skill set standpoint, it's a little tough. Jazz a pick and roll guard. He likes pick and rolls, and the Magic are not doing as much pick and rolls, or hardly any.
Miami.
Yeah, so yeah, my the Heat. We have mentioned this a couple times on this podcast already as a new offense, and even Tyler Hero was trying to adjust to it, but the reason why it works so for him is because he can shoot. Jazz not really the greatest shooter, and I don't think the Heat
Nice
are
way to
gonna
put it.
give up. Huh?
Nice way to put it.
Yeah. I don't think the Heat is, at least in my mind. I don't think they're gonna give up a Hero. Definitely not giving up Bam and Norman Poe at this point might even be better than Jack. So and then you also can't give up Andrew Wiggins because like Andrew Wiggins fits perfectly with the Heat right now. Just that 3-and-D guy. He athletic, a good height. He just slots into that 3 spot perfectly for them.
And he's
So
been playing well though.
exactly right.
Mm.
So luckily the only thing that would be good with Ja being on that team is that the other 4 spots they're shooting at all other 40 spots. Like Bam has stretched on to the 3-point line. Kevin Rurr shoots from outside, Hero, and Norman Poe. Right? So he would got space to operate. The biggest thing would be what would you give up for Ja? Luckily, I don't think his value is that high right now. His value is probably as low as it's been ever. So I am not sure what if the reports end up being true, I don't know what are some of the like they got like the fake trades or like throwing stuff out there as to what his true value is. Maybe if there is some traction to this actual idea, maybe if they throw some trades or whatever, maybe you will have an idea of his actual trade value, and then that could determine if if it is worth giving up. Because if like it costs like a first round and a second round pitch, I take a flare, right? But if it's not much, but if it's like you got a trade like Tele Hero, I just immediately put it on the floor. So yeah,
Yeah, they may ask for more than they can get.
definitely.
So what about you, Alan? What do you think? What do you think? This would how this thing will work out. You feel that Ja would make a big. Actually, do you think that Ja would even get to Miami?
No. But just a side on the report is not that I think the report is necessarily fake. It's from Jake Fish. I find that just there's some insiders that have like really that report on things from GMs and whatnot that is like from agents that's like stuff that's like happening. I find a lot of his tips tend to be stuff that is fed to him to like just to throw there into the ether just to see, okay, what would this generate? Can this potentially lead to what we want? So I think he does get legit information. I think some of the information is just like to put things out there that he may get from a GM. It's okay, let's put this out there, and it then reported. That's just my sense of a lot of his stuff over the years.
Okay, and that's Miami. We could ask Tyrone.
True.
But in general, I think Miami would be the perfect team for Ja in terms of helping instill the discipline that he would need as a basketball player in professionalism. But I don't think Miami will touch on the 10-foot pole. So I just don't think it's actually going to work. Miami would be good for Ja, but I don't think
That'd be good for Miami.
Yeah, I don't think Miami would make the risk. And I mean, if 2 years ago, if you would say, I don't know if I can trade Andrew Wiggins for Ja Morant. 2 years ago, if we were going to say that, right? I don't know if I would trade Tyler Hero for Ja Morant 2 years ago.
Yeah.
If that's where we are right now,
yeah,
I don't think Memphis can really afford to trade him because that's not a discussion that you should be having. His value is too low right now to even consider trading. He needs to get back healthy, get back on the court, start playing well, raise his value, and then they can potentially talk because it's not going to be a good deal for Memphis right now. It's only Memphis can find a good deal for him. If we were saying that we're skeptical about Andrew Wiggins and Tyler Hero for Ja Morant. So given where he would have been 2 years ago.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that I don't know this thugginess he trying to portray. You really would just want to go play, you just gotta go up on the court and play. Nobody give people big contracts because they're going to be a thug, right? And somehow he gone on with this. I don't know why, because he comes from
street cred.
Yeah, he come from a different situation than most of the people in the NBA.
Yeah.
Two parents, and he used to wear loafers and things. So I don't understand how he act now he want to be a thug. Anyway, that's Ja Morant. It takes all sorts to make it work. The next thing is the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, you had this report. I don't know. Well, I don't know if it was Jeff Fisher, but I would say that it was this report.
This one's legit.
That Giannis and his representatives was going to have a discussion about his future and with the Milwaukee management and blah blah blah. And then you hear that he really didn't demand a trade or anything. They ain't trading him. They just having discussions. So I want to know, Giannis available for a trade or not? Or is this just one of these times where a fella get upset, the team playing horrible, so he trying to see if he could pull some leverage? Because anybody that traded for Giannis got there, Alex and Giannis, along with him. So
Thanasis.
Thanasis, right? Along with him. So So we'll see how that one works out. What do you think? Keelan, you feel he really available or this is just a ruse?
I think he will really be available when he says I am asking for a trade. Do I think that they should trade him? I think it's at that point. I'm not sure how much more Milwaukee can really do to please Giannis in the sense like they got Drew and they got the title. Cool. Since then, they got Damian Lillard 2 years. That didn't work out. Traded Chris Middleton. To try to save, they got Miles Turner. Had to end up waiving Dave to even get the money to do it. I know your second best player is actually a guy who was a two-way player a couple years ago, or at least last year, and was averaging, but what, 6 points? I know he's averaging 18. Great story. Not even gonna lie. That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. But him being second best player is not
Maybe your
the
second best
path.
player.
Yeah, not for contendership. If he's your third or fourth best player, hey, you got a pretty decent team. But if he's your second best player at this stage, if he's still really young, Giannis. The problem with this situation too is that Giannis gets hurt, right? This team cannot survive anything if Giannis goes down. This team can barely survive with Giannis playing. So Giannis going down is just automatically like you have to rely on Kyle Kuzma. And I'm sorry, Kyle Kuzma in 2025. I didn't even want. I wouldn't even want to rely on Kuzma in 2023 when he had that great season on the Wizards. So, yeah, I don't know if he is available, but I think he should be. And I don't know if it's gonna happen because really and truly, this is something that should have happened in the off season. But Giannis wanted to give it one more try, at least for Milwaukee's, if they want as big a return as they want. Trading him in the offseason is better where all the teams can at least give him a shot. And in the middle of the season is always be a little skeptical, on last year's, on Nico Harrison and the Mavs. But yeah, so he should be available. I know if he is, but yeah, it's time to just finish the Giannis in Milwaukee thing. Is I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
Alan,
sorry.
what was your thing?
Yeah, well, remember I said this is probably early on at the beginning of the season when we had our first show. I said this is probably where we're going to be headed. That he's going to be absolutely about at some point. Like the opposite, I thought it was probably going to be the all season, but I think this is essentially the gentleman's trade request is what Giannis is doing right now. Because remember, he did make one of these requests in the summer with regards to the Knicks. That didn't work out. He continued. Giannis doesn't really want to be seen as a villain in this situation. That yes, I want out Milwaukee, and then he's getting booed and whatnot. I think he's going to try. He's trying to listen in the most gentle, gentlemanlike manner and try to exit Milwaukee while still being nice and sweet and liked. So I think that's essentially where we are right now. But yeah, I don't know if he finishes the season in Milwaukee, but yeah, I think he wants to win. He said repeatedly he wants to win. This team is not a winning team. I think he realizes the writing is on the wall. Milwaukee's done everything they could do to put as good a team around as they could. At this point in time, they just don't have anything left to do. So, yeah, I think this is his nice gentlemanly trade request right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, if he leaves Milwaukee will be indulgence for a while.
Yeah,
because
I
it always
don't think
happens when you build your entire team around one person. I mean, every team around one person. There's no continuity, no okay. So when Giannis goes, X person gonna be body take over. There's nothing like that. So if he goes, that will be the end of Milwaukee, right? Basically, they will go back to being down the bottom and getting like first and second round picks. Sorry, first lottery picks and first round picks because the existing down there. The other thing is that they might ask for a big haul for if there's an event for four picks. I could imagine Giannis might think that he He may go take the old NBA, like the actual first, all the picks in the first round, really.
I
To have,
mean, to be fair, you know, AD didn't go for. I mean, Luka didn't go for a lot of first round picks, but
yeah, well, but we don't really want to use that as a yardstick
it's
for trades, really, though.
The
yeah.
other team might
I
use that
mean,
as a
you can't use
yardstick
that as
now.
a yardstick, no.
uh, yeah.
So you can't just say,
These people have
okay,
their own yardstick.
Yeah.
yeah, and they only got one Nico Harrison. He's unemployed at this point.
Yeah, he going,
So,
and there
right.
might be a reason why.
Yeah, yes. So I think they will have what I would do though, I would bite the bullet. I would ask for a haul, whoever could put together a good package. You're not going to get by Giannis back in that trade. So try to get at least two tier two people or something like that, and try to see how you could build back your franchise because they will be if they don't get the right people and put the right coaches in place and stuff, then they will be, irrelevant for a real long time. Just sorry that it happened, but that's the way the cookies crumble. At least he brought a championship to Milwaukee,
Correct.
so he really doesn't own anything. He brought the championship and he was MVP. He did well, so everything is everything. All right, so that is Giannis and his availability. I don't know if teams gonna be able to afford him, but we'll see what happens. See, he wants to go to New York, but I don't know. New York got their team to get him. Right.
It might be.
So, of course, you can't. This is quarter session, and you can't go anywhere without pick five. Last week, we had Alan did do very well last week,
Ooh.
and myself and Keelan was 3 and 5. This week, we'll see what Alan can do in order to redeem himself.
I've been struggling over there.
Yeah, for some reason I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Come on.
Right. So on Tuesday, New York at Toronto.
This is the NBA Cup.
Yeah, I think this is the NBA Cup.
At Toronto, I get New York.
New York.
Yeah, I go next.
You going next too? New York. That is thing. I can go with Toronto. And that's just to spice up things. On Wednesday, San Antonio at LA Lakers. You're going for Lakers.
Yeah, you talking to Adam at this point.
Yeah. So it's only Allen know that gonna really pick him.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I think I'm only fan. If it might be made to come back, I think I will go with Spurs. I think based on my inside information, I think maybe might play. So let's go with Spurs.
I hope you got it. It's information by Jake Fisher. Right. So
I got this information shortly before the show started.
Oh, okay. So you would say that. So you're going with San Antonio then?
Yeah.
If Wemby play, well, you figured out they're going to play, so you're going to San Antonio. I can be honest with you. If Wemby play, I would switch my pick. But yeah, I'm going with Lakers. On Thursday, Boston is at Milwaukee.
Oh yeah, so definitely Boston.
All right.
Southern been playing good over there.
Yeah. I don't think the boys should really go against Boston in that one. Yeah. On Friday, Indiana at Philly. I will go Alan at Indiana. What about you, Keelan?
Yeah, see, last year, anytime it was Pacers, it was on Alice side, not this year. So I can go 76ers.
I can go 76ers. That boy, Tyrese Maxey, be playing really well.
Yeah, he's been balling.
And a rookie too. He hurt or he's still playing?
He's still playing. He just eased off a little bit after the All-Star. Yeah, but he's still playing decent. Yeah.
Okay. And then New Orleans at Chicago.
Oh Lord, battling mid. Because if I'm not mistaken, yeah, we know the Pelicans are 3-21. Oh my God. They lost 6 straight, but the Bulls lost a good set. Bulls lost 7 straight. So this is the battle of losing streaks.
Yeah, but Bulls is 9-14 and New Orleans is 3-21.
Yeah, because Bulls started
the reverse of the 6-game losing streak. It's really yeah. A 7-game losing streak versus a 6-game losing streak is really yeah.
Yeah, because what happens at both start out really good and then they just fall off. But I can't ever put my money on the Pelicans. I'm sorry. I just can't.
I get with you too. I don't think I put my money on Pelicans.
Honestly, it might be Clapham Bulls, and I would still put the Bulls over the Pelicans at this point.
You too, Alan, you going with Chicago?
Bulls, yes.
Okay. All right, so that is pick 5. We'll see what happens next week. Hopefully, Alan will redeem himself. And we will all be, feeling good about our picks. Right, so final thing on quarter session, we usually call game. And Keelan, I starting with you. You always want to start Alan, but I starting with you this time. Yeah. So who you calling game on?
I am calling game on Shedeur Sanders.
Oh.
Right? See what happened? If everybody knows the situation in Cleveland Browns with the quarterback. At one point, they had 5 quarterbacks. They had 4, and well, it was 3 because one hurt. 3 available, but then one was hurt, and then another man get hurt, so they signed somebody off the street. So then just had another one, so they had 5, and then they cut, and then they traded somebody. I know they got 2. Long story short, Shedeur Sanders, if you don't know the story, 5th round draft pick. He was supposed to go really high. Slid all the way to the 5th round. People have been campaigning for him to play. The backup, Dylan Gabriel, been game player over him. And now since he actually been playing, he's been balling. And last game, he had 4 touchdowns, 300 and something yards. I think the first Cleveland Brown rookie to have 300 and something yards. And I don't know if the old George W. Bush might have been president then. I know. Not many reasons the old one. Right? Exactly. Yeah. So he has had to deal with a lot of criticism and adversity for a 5th round pick. And I think so far he's handled it very well, and he's been announced the starter for the rest of the season. So hopefully he can build on this momentum. Will the Browns win any games? Probably not, because they're just horrible. But hopefully he can keep playing well. So I call game on Shedeur Sanders.
Yes, I there's a serious strange thing that the coach did at the end of the game.
Yes, like he was balling
and could not get out.
Yeah, took him out of an opportunity to win. To be fair, if you know any insights of the thing, obviously it's not confirmed yet, but it said that because I think the coach picked Dylan Gabriel, which is the 3rd round pick, and the GM, I think, or the owner picked Sanders, right? So there has been like speculation that really the coach didn't really want Sanders, so they want to sabotage him, but it seems like he's not putting Shedeur in the best opportunities to succeed. Yeah, and like him balling out despite that has seemed to backfire because he's been playing the other guy. The other guy hasn't looked good. Know that Shedeur has looked good. I know you got this situation where he almost like he sabotaged by not putting into the thing. It looks really bad on him as opposed to Shedeur. So yeah, for him.
I agree. That was a good call game there.
Yeah.
What about you, Alan? Who you call game on?
Calling game on James Harden, moving to 10th on the NBA all-time scorer list.
Yep.
A guy that years ago we figured because we know he had a real colorful life off the court, in clubs and whatnot. Did not think he was going to age that well, and he is aging quite well in his later years in his career. Still playing at a really high level for the Clippers, scoring and assisting. So, which has been very, very impressive for him. I mean, he's looked better than guys like even Paul George. I think who was a little bit younger than him. So. Yeah, call game of James Harden, doing extremely well a little late in the later half of his career. Where it was not expected that this guy was going to age, but I remember they were concerned with giving him certain long-term contracts because they figured, this contract is not going to age well when this guy is, late
older.
Mid to late, but aging quite well.
They even saying that he could finish as high as 6 all time when he done. So
continue scoring his rate if he can play If you can make it to 40, yeah.
Even higher. Yeah.
I think he's stretching it a little bit there, Alan. He's really playing well now. Right? Don't let me stretch it to 40.
If you can make it to 40, we'll see. If.
If.
Okay.
Big if, but so if. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I call game on Lewis Hamilton. And to get the backstory, Lewis Hamilton was, one of the top F1 drivers. Lewis, he had what is called hammer time. And when the course is wet, that's when you call for Lewis Hamilton. He win all, a lot of Grand Prix, when he think that he was really exciting. But now he has gone with Ferrari. And no, he's not even the top driver in Ferrari. And I am saying that you got to know when to retire. And I think, and the reason why I'm calling game on him is because of CP3. Because when I saw him, I went back to CP3 and said that this is exactly what's the problem with all top stars. They don't know when to leave, right? You gotta leave on top, and when people can remember that you were a top dog, right? As opposed to you hanging on, hanging on, hanging on. Those somebody don't need a paycheck. So, I think it's time for him to retire and seek other avenues to invest his funds. All right. And that's it for our court in session. And for right now, the court is adjourned.